Welcome back. Germany says thousands of migrants stranded along the border between Poland and Belarus should be provided with emergency aid. As the migrant crisis showed no sign of easing, hundreds was given shelter in a warehouse in Belarus. Johanna Chan reports.
Migrants chanted in unison after Belarusian authorities told them they wouldn't be forced home. Around 1,000 of them were accommodated in a warehouse in northwestern Belarus and provided with food, water, medical aid, mattresses, and pillows. They would be allowed to stay there until the situation is resolved. But others chose to remain outside, pitching tents near the border with Poland as they waited in freezing conditions to cross into the European Union and reach Germany. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko held his second conversation this week with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, who said the migrants must be given humanitarian aid and offered a chance to return home. Some of them boarded flights to Iraq, but most of the migrants are determined to seek asylum in the West after fleeing poverty and conflict in the Middle East. The Belarusian president has been accused of orchestrating the crisis to take revenge against the European Union, which imposed sanctions on him last year for alleged human rights abuses. Tensions between Belarus and Poland have escalated since early this month, when the migrants were stranded at their common border. Yesterday, Polish security forces used water cannon and tear gas after the migrants threw stones and stun grenades at them as they tried to storm the border fence. Belarus denied Polish allegations that it provided the grenades. Johanna Chan, HKIBC.
A man who stormed Capitol Hill in Washington wearing a fur helmet with horns on January 6 has been jailed for 41 months.
Mr. Chansley owned his responsibility. He sought to be accountable. He was and has been held accountable. What we have to overcome, though, is how we as a nation are dealing with those who are criminally accused by virtue of events occurring on January 6th.
Jacob Chansley pleaded guilty earlier, trying to block lawmakers from confirming Joe Biden as the winner of last year's presidential election. Supporters of former President Donald Trump rioted in the heart of U.S. democracy after he alleged that he was cheated of victory. More than 600 people have been charged in connection with the storming of Congress. The head of HSBC has backed the government's efforts to reopen the border with the mainland. This comes amid growing calls from the business sector for a relaxation in quarantine measures. Strict quarantine measures have forced senior executives of major firms to adjust plans to be in Hong Kong. They include the head of the city's biggest bank.
I think it's important for Hong Kong to establish what they need to establish with China on reopening the Hong Kong-China border. I don't want to do anything that may jeopardize that. I would love to get back to Hong Kong as soon as I can.
Quinn was in Hong Kong late last year and underwent quarantine for a fortnight before spending 4 weeks meeting clients. His counterpart at JP Morgan Chase was exempted from quarantine on his recent visit to Hong Kong. Chief Executive Carrie Lam said the bank played an important role in Hong Kong, adding that Jamie Dimon's trip was relatively low risk. The government has come under mounting pressure from the finance industry to open its borders or risk losing investment and business talents. The Hang Seng Index lost 1.3% today, weighed down by declines in the tech and property sectors. Mainland developers continued to stumble because of liquidity woes. Evergrande slumped 5.7% after selling its stake in the streaming services firm Hang Teng Network for $2.1 billion. Hang Teng jumped 25%. Alibaba shed 5.3% as investors retreated from tech stocks on regulatory concerns and expectations of weak earnings. After the market closed, the e-commerce giant said revenue for June to September came in at 200 billion yuan, a 29% increase year-on-year. Net income was 5.3 billion yuan. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index closed down 330 points. Top 10 active stocks: Tencent down $12.20, Alibaba down $8.80, and Meituan down $7.20. Xiaomi down 60 cents, BYD Company up $4, and Hong Kong exchanges up $3.20. Forex trading against Hong Kong dollar, euro is trading at 8.83, British pound at 10.50, and Australian dollar at 5.67. Over to the UK market, the FTSE 100 is down 13 points. On to the weather now. Sunny periods tomorrow with the temperature range between 22 and 26 degrees. More sun over the weekend before the mercury plunges at the start of the work week. Temperatures will range between... Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Thursday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Annie Lau. Good evening.